It's funny because in my country there's a general perception of Romania as a shithole of Europe, and some really bad characteristics are attributed to Romanian people. And the stereotype gets repeated, yet very few has ever been there. So I'm here to verify what's up. First stop, Constanta and nearby Mamaia, a main holiday base at Romanian coast. They got some pretty intense nightlife. But I came here for a different attraction. Evangelia Shipwreck, ladies and gentlemen, rotting lonely couple of 100 meters from the shore. My goal for today? Get inside and don't die. Let's go! Seriously, one of the best places I've been so far. But it was extremely dangerous as the inside was full of sticking out sharp metal elements, while the waves were throwing me left and right like a doll. Luckily, I went away only with a couple of scratches. And huge thanks to the guy who swam to the ship with me, but decided to stay outside and waited until I get out, because he wanted to make sure I need no help. He and his family were super sweet. Sticking to the coast, we're heading north until the very end of the country, where the delta of the Danube River forms a beautiful wild environment. You can rent an excursion to the inside of the delta, which is one of the biggest attractions in Romania. The Balkans have this very peculiar characteristic. You often come across watermelons swimming freely in the river or laying on the shores. I don't know what's up with that. In the middle of Delta, there are a couple of tiny villages that can only be accessed by boat. The one we visited is called Mila 23. After the final spectacle, we got back and I continued going north. To the most forgotten, most unknown, poorest, and the least visited country in Europe, Moldova. There's literally nothing here. The whole country is basically a one big farm field with absolutely terrible roads and a couple of grey post-Soviet cities. But I was lucky to find some company that made this trip more colorful. Two super cool Belarusian girls who hitchhiked with me through the whole country. And actually Moldova turned out to have a couple of attractive traits. You can meet here one of the warmest and most hospitable people in Europe. I really respect that even though they are poor as hell, they still find time and funds to paint their houses and front gates, making this grey reality more bearable. Also, the largest winery in the whole world is located in this country. Some world-class celebrities have their private cellars here.
Wow!
Imagine that there is 120 kilometers of these tunnels here. So is there anything to do in Moldova except tasting wine? Well, not much, but it's really fascinating to visit a country like this where your senses can rest, because they are not bothered with anything. But this nothingness can be pretty useful, because it's so easy to find a completely empty wild piece of land where you can throw an outdoor party. It looks like a photo session for, some porn magazine. In Moldova, you can find some absolutely crazy rich-looking houses, but left unfinished. It's like having a Gucci shirt, but it made you run out of cash, so you wear bin bag as the pants. What a weird and pathetic way of flexing. Moldova turned out to be a pretty interesting experience. But after 3 days of driving on these terrible roads, not being able to pay by card, and seeing all this roughness, I have to admit that I felt relief once I set my foot back on the Romanian land. And I got greeted with beauty from the very entrance. I continued driving west to the remote areas of Carpathian Mountains, where sweet and colorful monasteries are hidden. Also, they got colorful cemeteries. I demand being buried in such a happy grave, not in some grim coffin. Speaking of churches, there is a thing in Romania, pretty cool looking defensive churches, which looks like castles and served as a last resort defense for a town under siege. On the other hand, we have these giant ugly modern temples. Some local told me that it works like this. Government gives money for building these churches in exchange for endorsement among the followers. Yeah, it makes me sick. As I've gone through the half of Romania, I learned that the large part of its lands are devoted to agriculture. Lots of fields, lots of horse carriers, slowing down the traffic, lots of farm animals roaming freely, slowing down the traffic, and these cute little peaceful villages, where the biggest attraction of the whole year was probably my crazy car. And we are in the region of famous Transylvania, with the cities like Brasov, Rasnov and Bran. View from the Rasnov castle is amazing. But what disappoints is the super famous Bran castle, aka the home of Dracula, and the whole vampire thing in this region. You really feel that the theme is not exploited properly. The legend creates an amazing mysterious aura, so you would expect some immersive experience here. But it's just a completely overpriced boring castle with boring exhibition. Stopping by to take a picture of the castle is all you need. I continue going south and I was surprised with beautiful scenery that popped up on my way. Syria Lake. But then I got reminded that these are Balkans, so almost every wild landscape is spiced up with litter on the side of the roads. Road to the south goes straight to the capital city of Bucharest. But if you decide to turn to the east, you will find a pretty unusual attraction of Romania, hidden in a remote region with raw lunar landscape. Am I still on planet Earth? And finally, the Bucharest. I was kinda expecting a bit more. There's just a couple of nice places, and of course a bit of Balkan disorder. I feel like Romania deserves a more beautiful capital. I like the intense nightlife though. But let me mention my impression about the people of Romania. They are really similar to Italians. They have similar look, they are also pretty outgoing, friendly and loud, and they are also high-tempered, so you gotta watch out. If you like Italians, you are gonna like Romanians too. You really feel the Roman Empire left its heritage here. The people, obviously the name of the country, and the famous statue depicting the legend about the founding of the Rome is present in various cities in Romania. In Bucharest, I picked up my friend, who decided to accompany me in the next few days. Right off the bat, I threw her at some hardcore climbing on the Valea lui Stan River. But the biggest reward was waiting for us at the end. As we were walking back to the van, a girl stopped her car and decided to give us a lift. She warned us that this region is full of wild bears, which do not afraid of human. Sounds like a warning? Well, to me it was encouraging. Once we got to our van, we immediately drove back to the area, stopped on the side of the road and started to hunt for the bears. We took all the snacks, fruits and sandwiches and climbed the roof of the car to safely observe and lure these furry bastards. It wasn't 30 seconds until we heard the first noise in the bushes, and sparkling eyes showed up in the darkness. Bam! We got a bear! Our new friend immediately got named Benny the bear. We kept teasing him by throwing little portions of food closer and closer to the car. Benny did not exhibit any hostility, so we decided to get down to make a more direct contact with our friend. Damn, that was a mystic moment. I felt like I was eye to eye with Mother Nature, hidden in the form of a wild beast that could literally snap me in half with its jaw if it wanted to. At this moment, Benny was basically within the reach of my hand, but he didn't feel comfortable with such proximity, so he was breaking the distance only for a couple of seconds. After 1 hour of our play, and after losing all our food, including expensive super healthy bio-eco-vegan bars, we decided to let him go in peace. Thanks, Benny, that was one of the coolest experiences in my life. But it's not the end of epic moments in Romania. The next morning we entered the region of the highest mountains and started climbing up to the famous Transylvania road. A road that was built just 50 years ago to provide quick pass through the mountains in case of Soviet invasion. Probably nobody gave a damn about tourists at that time, but we are still grateful for this attraction. Unluckily, the road and the valley were drowning in clouds. But the Mother Nature was kind enough to uncover the view for literally 30 seconds, just enough time to make some photos and please our eyes. As we were driving through, the view sadly looked like this. Next we arrived to the most beautiful city in Romania, Sighisoara.
Thanks.
The whole old town is on the UNESCO list, and it's really charming as hell. Getting on top of this tower is a must, as you will experience walking on the loudest squeaking floor in the whole world. And obviously the panorama of the city is great too. On the east-north we have Cluj-Napoca. Not so many beautiful places here, but by many it's named the most Romanian city in Romania, whatever that means. So I think it's mandatory to visit it. Scaricioara Glacier Cave in the south, it's a pretty weird phenomenon. A large hole in the ground with glacier formations inside and constant sub-zero temperatures. Even though like 20 meters of climb up and you are already feeling like 30-degree heat. Though the cave is nothing spectacular, And basically, climbing the stairs takes more time than the actual walk in the small cave. But I got a better underground experience for you. Check it out. It looks like a Batman's secret base or something. It's Salina Turda, a former salt mine which was turned into an entertainment center. Admission fee is really high, attractions are so-so, but this place is unlike any other, so if you don't mind wasting some money, go please your eyes. Now we're getting out of darkness to see some light. And this time these lights comes from the stage. We came across some music festivals in the city of Sibiu. Folk, classical music, everything was there. But the last artist blew my mind. Alright, we're slowly getting close to the border. 2 more cool places. On the far west, we got a colorful city of Timisoara. If it's on your way, it would be nice to see it, although its remote location makes it unworthy of sacrifice if you have limited funds and time. And the last one, Romania says goodbye with a stunning natural phenomenon, those Nita waterfalls. Check out this mesmerizing color. It was honestly the most beautiful natural color of the water I have ever seen. In order to get to the final boss, you have to walk along the river and climb up smaller waterfalls on your way. And then the giant emerges. Alright, let's sum it up. I was shocked that the stereotypes about Romania turned out to be far from the truth. Infrastructure is decent, roads are smooth, they have some unusual attractions, colorful and fairly clean cities, as well as some great nature. And people are cool and good looking. So, nice to meet you, Romania. I hope to see you in future.